Life has felt like a lot lately. I'm trying to pinpoint like where it started to feel a little bit overwhelming, and I don't know if it was before I had my baby, my newest baby, or if it was in the postpartum season. I don't know, but things have been chaotic. Things have been a struggle, and I'm unhappy with it. There's a quote that I like. I can't remember who it's by. Sissy, something that starts with a G. And it says, you can sink, you can float, you can swim. It's your choice. And I think I have been somewhere between sinking and floating lately. I'm not making progress towards the things that I want to. In some cases, I'm backsliding and losing progress that I've made. Honestly, probably more I'm sinking than I am floating. And while I'm not actively making a choice to do that, to be sinking rather than floating or swimming, I'm not actively making the choices to push myself forward either. So I want to change that. I think I have 4 categories that I want to work on over the next, honestly, the rest of my life, but I want to make some major progress in them here in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, the rest of the year. And I'm just choosing to start. I could wait until it's a Monday. I could wait until it's the new year, but I just want to feel like I'm making progress. So the first one, I mean, you're here on this channel, you know how things have been, is my finances. I have been working on my finances towards our main financial goal right now, which is to buy our first home. And we have been working towards that. I mean, honestly, we paid off all of our debt in 2019, and the goal after that was to build up our emergency fund and get into a home. I started this channel with the goal to own a home outright by the time I turned 30. I am now 28, and honestly, a home feels so out of reach. And we have these seasons where we make so much progress, we save so much, we build up our emergency fund, and then we like start putting money towards a home, and then something happens. My husband was going to school, so we were paying for that. Career-wise, trying to find jobs, things have been just up in the air. I just like throughout the last almost decade, it feels like we make our progress and then we slide backwards more than we made the progress. So I feel like we've just put so much energy into our finances, and yes, we haven't backslid into debt again. We haven't had to, start really from scratch again, but just we're back at square one as far as we have to build up our emergency fund again. We're going to spend the rest of the year earning that money again, saving that money again. So it's just felt like we haven't made any progress because we're still honestly where we were when we started, and I'm just tired of feeling like we have no money. Like we're always putting all of our extra money towards this goal. So honestly, I just want to make a lot of progress towards it. And while we are making more money with my husband's new career and the jobs that he has, I want to contribute to that and kind of just build the income further so that we can save faster and meet these goals faster, because we have been in it for so long and I am so ready to be done. I want to be in our home, So number 1, finances. I am going to start making money. I have a couple things in the works. I am just about monetized on this channel. I have to get a few more public watch hours, so it's just you watching these videos. So if you're here doing that, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I am so close to being monetized so that I can start making money using this YouTube channel, which is awesome. Second thing, I have found a gap in the market for some early education curriculum, and I am working on a workbook for that gap in the market, and I will share that when it's finished and you can see what it is that I've been working on. So that is kind of a behind the scenes working on it. And then the third thing is something that I will be able to do at home in my spare time when I can find it, and that is to train AI. There are a few different ways you can go about it, but honestly, I haven't even done the first step with that. I know where I'm going to start, but I need to take a test and do some trainings and stuff after if I test into being able to do it. But then I should be able to make, I think it said anywhere between $15 to $25 an hour. And if I just put in an hour or two a day, then I will be able to make some decent income. And with those three things, I'm hoping that I can help boost our income and really get us moving towards this goal of owning a home. I did the math, and right now for us to realistically get into a home that we can afford with the down payment, it's gonna have to be a big one. For us to save that amount of money will take us 8 years, and I am just not in it for another 8 years. I moved because my kids came inside, and I'm hoping that my husband's fish tank is not too loud. But yeah, that is my goal with the finances. I think realistically, I could plan on bringing in another like $300 to $400 here in the next few months per month with those 3 streams of income. I mean, maybe it'll surprise me. It'll be much more lucrative, but for now, honestly, that would help so much to just have that extra income coming in. We're still living as frugally as possible, which is, I'm finding it harder and harder to do that. I mean, I have more kids, so obviously things cost more, like food, and if we want to go do something fun, we have to pay for more people, so it does cost more. But really, I think it's more like a mental thing where I'm so tired of having to like be so careful and pinch all of our pennies that it's just a struggle for me to like do it. Sometimes I just like rebel, and it's not even against anybody else, it's against me and my wanting to pinch these pennies so that we can get into that house. And I think just because it's gone on so long, I just like get in these moods and I'm like, all right, I don't care, I'm just gonna spend some money. And I do, and then we have less money. So yeah, it only hurts me. But that, as far as the finances go, that is my plan, to stop floating / kind of sinking and start to swim. And I want to swim fast and strong. So that's the goal with our finances. I put a mic on, so hopefully you can't hear my fridge as well now. But the next thing I'm working on, not totally sinking in, is my health. So I've had 3 babies back to back, and I already have had bad posture basically my entire adult life. I think my bad posture started in junior high, honestly. I remember carrying like a super heavy backpack, and because of that, and just continuing to have terrible posture throughout the rest of my life, my shoulders are always like way up here, like so stressed, and I like carry so much tension in my shoulders. So my upper back and my shoulders always feel so tight and sore. I also have some crazy ab separation from having my kids, and so that doesn't help my posture at all, and just muscle weakness in general. Yeah, I am a little bit falling apart. So there are 2 parts to this thing. For my health and sanity, I first have started to wake up an hour earlier. So an hour, hopefully, before my kids. My baby, a lot of the time, will wake up anywhere from right when my alarm goes off to half an hour later. And then ideally my kids wake up an hour after my alarm goes off. So I have an hour to myself, or at least half an hour to myself in the morning without the kids. Of course, with the baby, I can bring her along. When I wake up in the morning, one of the things that I'm doing is some exercise. I'm doing rehab right now on my abs and then a little bit on my posture as well. I think it's going to take quite a bit of time to get those things to where they need to be. I just noticed now I'm like constantly trying to just roll my shoulders down and back because they're always up here. I don't know, but I'm working on it. So that honestly has been helping a lot. I don't wake up with back pain nearly as much as I was. So I'm going to continue to do that. I mean, it's relatively new. I've been doing it on and off for like a week or 2 now. So, I mean, we've got a lot to go, but I'm working on it. The other things that I'm doing, I am about to make myself a smoothie. That's why I'm here standing by this blender. I'm working on my nutrition. With 3 kids, it's busy. And a lot of the time I find myself kind of just putting myself last. And I think while there's a season for that in life, especially when you are like early postpartum, you do kind of have to put the baby first. I'm to the point now where it's okay to not put myself last. So I make my kids their lunch. I make sure that I'm also making me a real lunch that I can have and not be hungry all the time, because when I'm hungry, then I'm more of a grump, and when I'm grumpy and I'm hungry, then I just reach for whatever's the easiest, which is usually something sweet and not good for me. So I'm working on that. I feel like we've always like been relatively healthy in our house, but we do a lot of like cheesy meals and pasta meals and things that like are not necessarily the most healthy. Sorry, I'm just like trying to block her face, so you just get this covered right here in the middle. But I'm trying to learn more about like what a really balanced meal looks like, and giving that to myself and my kids and feeding those kinds of meals to my family. And that is definitely going to be a work in progress. I am not a chef. As much as I want to be somebody who cooks really well, I don't. I have not mastered like literally any kind of protein. And just across the board, I feel like a lot of the time it's hit or miss if the meal I make is going to be good or bad. But I'm working on it. That's been something that has been a goal of mine for the past few years. And while I have not made a whole lot of progress on actually getting better, I am working on it. I feel like I find success with a recipe, and then the next time that I make it, it's no longer a success. But you know, basically I'm working on creating meals that are healthy and filling and satiating, and going to kind of balance my blood sugars a little bit better, and so then I won't be crashing and grumpy all the time. And then waking up early to get in at least a little bit of exercise. I am trying to do 10,000 steps a day on top of my rehab, and then I do want to start weightlifting. I was weightlifting probably 3 months postpartum, and it was good. I felt myself getting stronger, but I also could tell that my form must not have been great, and I think my body was not ready to be lifting as heavy as I was, and I could tell that it was causing problems in the things that already had problems. So my posture, I was having more back pain, and my diastasis recti, the ab separation, was getting worse. So I did stop my weightlifting, but I do want to reintroduce that, and probably I'll just take it slower and do better at just working on my core mostly. I mean, my form. I will be working on my core, but really just getting my form right before I start increasing the weight at all. So that's kind of my game plan with my health. And I think it's gonna be easier than the finances, to be honest. So going right along with that, I want to start taking care of my mental and spiritual health. I used to be really good about like getting time with God, studying my scriptures, praying, and it's just slipped over the past few months, and I have been feeling it. That's probably a lot of why everything feels so unwell. That plays right into my 6 a.m. wake up routine. I'm starting off my morning reading my scriptures and praying. So before I was waking up early, I basically woke up to my kids. I would just jump into the chaos, not have any time to myself, not have any time to get ready for the day, especially with her being on the move now. It just made it very difficult to do anything. So I just, there were days where it was 1 p.m. and I still hadn't gotten myself ready for the day, and like wanting to go be outside but not being dressed, or like just feeling put together at all. Kind of just put a damper on the day. Getting myself out of bed earlier to spend time reading my scriptures and praying and exercising, doing things for me, and getting myself ready for the day. Those things have honestly just made such a huge difference in how I'm able to just handle the chaos of the day. Giving myself an hour of like calm and quiet and peace before I jump into the chaos of my life with 3 kids has been a game changer. So the goal there is to continue to do that waking up early routine and having time to myself. And I think that will help a lot in my headspace and also just the overall feeling of peace in our home. The chaos of the day caught up with me, so I took a little break from filming, but I'm back to round out the last of this video. The 4th kind of category that I want to focus on is my relationships. That's my relationships with my kids, the amount of energy and attention and affection they're getting, my marriage, my relationships with my family and friendships, kind of just all of those things together. And obviously things like my marriage are definitely higher up in that category than, say, my friendships, but to me they're all important and they are something that has been slipping. And I mean, across the board, all of those relationships have been slipping and I don't want them to. So I am recommitting myself to, I guess, better time management and figuring out how to balance those things in a way that is helpful, I guess. For my marriage, we talked about having date night more often. With little kids, it's just something that we have let go pretty much entirely. We have a date night here and there, usually for like a birthday or an anniversary, but that's just definitely not enough for our marriage, our relationship when we have 3 little kids. We are going to be switching off every other week. We will do a date night at home and then a date night out. We've put together a big list of babysitters we can use. We've talked about how we can put the kids to bed and then leave once they're already asleep to make it easier. I also want to go hang out with one friend each week. That feels pretty doable to me right now with my kids' nap schedules. It's just hard to get out of the house, but it is easy to invite people over or to leave, go somewhere for like an hour. So that's kind of going to be my focus, is just like little get-togethers, little catch-ups, getting out of the house, inviting people into the house. And I think that will help not only me, but also my kids. When I was thinking about laying all of these goals out and kind of things that I want to work on, I almost didn't film the video just because there's not a whole lot going on. Like, this is just me kind of saying it out loud and like setting the stage for the changes that I'm going to make. But I mean, that's kind of what started this channel. I don't even know how many years ago that I started this. 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And it was just me saying, here's my goal, here's what I'm going to do to achieve it, let's do this. So I guess I'm kind of just continuing that this time. New goals, new season of life. I'm ready to make some big changes and start swimming, making headway towards these goals, and kind of just making sure that the life I'm living is the life I want to live. I'm showing up as the person that I want to be, the kind of mom I want to be, the kind of wife I want to be, the kind of friend I want to be. So yeah, that's where I have been at. That is where I'm headed. It's kind of a lot, and I'm still figuring out how I'm going to fit all of this in without just becoming a stress case. But I think with little changes and adding things in here and there rather than trying to just do all of this all at once, I think it will be doable. So this is kind of like, I guess, my mid-year reset. I never got to talk to you about my goals for the year because I was having a baby and I just kind of left YouTube for a while, but these are the goals that I want to work on now and for the rest of the year. And I guess at the end of the year, I'm sure I will give you updates as I make progress, especially in my finance category, but honestly everywhere else too. I'll give you updates, but yeah, at the end of the year, I want to look back at this video and have accomplished or made major strides, at least, in a lot of the goals that I've set out in this video for myself. So that is where I'm at. That is what I'm doing. This is a lot of talking to you today, so I'm sorry if this was kind of a boring one, but I'm just ready to not be broke. I'm ready to be happy and joyful and have a life that is fulfilling. And I've been floating for so long that I've just been letting life be what it is, and I'm ready to kind of make choices again and be in charge and make decisions and do things on purpose rather than just letting it happen. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, I'd love it if you would subscribe, and I'll see you again next week for another one. Bye!